Additional footage from the Russian attack in Chasiv Yar. Out of 10 armored vehicles, 7 were either destroyed or damaged beyond repair. The battle for Chasiv Yar continues to be intense, with Russian forces attempting to break through Ukrainian defenses in the strategically significant town. Recent reports indicate that Russian troops have managed to establish some positions near key areas, such as the Canal District, but their advances have been heavily contested. Ukrainian forces have employed effective counterattacks and drone strikes to repel Russian assaults, causing substantial losses in both manpower and equipment. Despite crossing a waterway in the area, Russian units faced logistical challenges and strong resistance. The terrain, which includes dense forests and uneven ground, has made it difficult for Russian forces to maintain their positions or deploy reinforcements effectively. Ukrainian troops have used this to their advantage, setting up ambushes and encircling isolated Russian units, forcing them into retreat or elimination. The battle remains fluid, with Ukrainian forces holding firm in most areas while Russian attempts to secure a decisive breakthrough have repeatedly failed. In addition to terrain challenges, Russian forces have struggled with supply routes and maintaining effective coordination under Ukrainian drone surveillance. The destruction of key Russian equipment, including tanks and armored vehicles, highlights the costly nature of their attacks. A tank of the 63rd Brigade fires directly at the occupiers, first with a machine gun and then with a cannon in the area of Siversk. In the ongoing battle for Siversk, Ukrainian forces recently repelled a significant Russian assault involving 100 infantrymen and 20 pieces of equipment. Despite Russia's focus on increasing artillery fire and deploying airstrikes and drones, they have been unable to secure major advances. To storm the positions in the Kharkiv region, the Russians marched in a convoy of vehicles with infantry, and it was there that they left their equipment and also put down their infantry. Ukraine's 3rd Assault Brigade said that it had cleared out Russian troops from the Kopanki village in Kharkiv Oblast, taking several prisoners of war from Russia's 1st Tank Army. Russian forces were reportedly pushed out after they attempted to break into Kopanki, a village in eastern Kharkiv Oblast, close to the administrative border with Luhansk Oblast. The settlement lies around 40 kilometers, 25 miles, southeast of Kupiansk, a key logistics hub under increasing pressure from Russian troops. Russia has been recruiting prisoners for high-risk assault operations in Ukraine to offset its staggering losses during the full-scale war. The 3rd Separate Assault Brigade is known to have been operating around the village of Borova in Kharkiv Oblast. They launched a successful counterattack in the region in August, advancing almost 2 square kilometers deep into the front line area. Putin answered a question about whether the so-called decision-making centers in Kyiv, whether military or political, could be targets for Oreshnik.
During Soviet times, there was a joke about weather forecast. Where is the forecast today throughout the day? Everything is possible.
The South Korean government did not express interest in supplying weapons and weapons components during a meeting with Defense Minister Rustem Umerov in Seoul. South Korean publication SBS News reported on this. The Ukrainian delegation, headed by Defense Minister Umerov, paid a courtesy call to President Yoon Seok-yeol and met with Defense Minister Kim Yong-hyun. During the meeting, the Ukrainian side reportedly assured representatives of the South Korean government that Ukraine seeks to buy weapons, not receive them for free. A government source said that this did not regard strike weapon systems. Ukraine was interested in Korean Cheonggung air defense systems, air surveillance radars, and counter-battery radars. Ukrainian representatives also expressed a desire to purchase 155mm artillery ammunition, or, in the event of a refusal to supply shells, at least their components, particularly powder charges. The newspaper also reported, citing its contacts with defense companies, that major defense companies, including Lignex 1, Hanwha, and Hyundai Rotem, have been instructed to refrain from contacting Ukraine regarding arms purchases. The main problem with arms exports to Ukraine is a possible violation of local foreign trade laws that restrict arms exports to a war zone. In addition, due to the export success of Korean weapons in the global market, The Cheonggung system manufacturer will not be able to export new products until 2030, and the manufacturers of K-9 self-propelled howitzers, K-2 tanks, and K-239 Cheonmu rocket launchers do not have finished products in stock. Prior to the meeting, the South Korean military released footage of recent exercises in which Soviet T-80U tanks and BMP-3 combat vehicles were used as targets for attack drones. Several photos that have been leaked to the media show that at least 2 tanks with numbers 1 and 2 were used to test the drone's effectiveness. Also, 1 BMP-3 was seen, although there could have been 2, just like the tanks. The country received Soviet-era tanks and armored personnel carriers from Russia in 1995 to 2006 as part of the repayment of the former Soviet Union's debts. Theoretically, this equipment could have been quickly used by the Ukrainian military if it had been transferred by the local government. Cyprus has revoked the citizenship of 86 people, 77 of them Russians. The names include Russian billionaire Oleg Deripaska, former top manager of Lukoil Ali Beglov, Alpha Group shareholder Alexei Kuzmichev, founder and the main shareholder of Safmar Group Mikhail Gutseriev, former mayor of Chelyabinsk and governor of the Chelyabinsk region Mikhail Yurovich, former chairman of the board of directors of Sheremetyevo Airport Alexander Ponomarenko, owner of Rusagro Vadim Moshkovich, co-owner of the fixed-price chain of discount stores Sergei Lomakin, ex-FSB investigator Sergei Kovbashuk, as well as numerous wives of State Duma deputies, former top managers of Pro-Business Bank and the Life Financial Group, Alexander Zhelezniak, Yaroslav Alexeyev, Alexander Lomov, and co-founder of Tochka Bank, Eduard Pantalev. Rich Russians and Russian officials are very concerned about the information that Cyprus is allegedly planning to join NATO. It is known that many of them have assets, real estate there, and many relatives of the Russian leadership live there. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov spoke about the rise of the dollar versus the ruble. He doesn't see any problems.
In what currency do you receive your salary? Most of our transactions with Kazakhstan are in Aftanga rubles. Yes, Aftanga has also grown, which brings us satisfaction.
Russia claims readiness for a 630 for 630 prisoner swap with Ukraine and preparation for future exchanges, per MFA spokesperson Zakharova. We leave it to Ukraine to decide which Russian servicemen to include, she said.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.